Welcome back to One Season Wonder, the podcast where we dive into TV shows that deserved more than one shot. This week we're talking about Trash, the episode that gives us old flames, new schemes, and just a little too much nudity for broadcast TV. Let's get into it. Wait a minute. I'm Talon.
I'm Jameson.
I'm Christopher. Why are we waiting a minute?
Because now we gotta get into it.
Oh, okay.
It's the One Season Wonder podcast with Christopher, Jameson, and Talon.
She forgot to say her name.
All right, so of course now we have Christopher who's leading the way.
Yes, I'm driving this episode. Let's jump right into it then.
Let's do that.
There's an opening scene. Mal is butt naked on a rock. And he says, yeah, that went well.
Can I say something? So sorry.
Just right off the bat.
Yeah. Well, because I think it happened before that. Do they do the previously on Firefly?
Right.
Before that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Recap.
Yeah. So I noticed this last episode, and then they did it again in this one, and I was curious if you guys noticed it. But what they do in that preview gives away what is mostly going to be shown in the episode ahead.
Yeah.
So, like, last episode, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it did the same thing. And then this one, it was all like, Anara. And then the main component of this episode was also in that little preview thing. And I'm like, okay, this is going to center around Anara in some way. And then the episode did kind of whatever.
Well, they
But
also
it foreshadows
when
a
I
lot.
was watching that preview or recap, they talked about Shepherd Book in there. They made reference to some of the things that have happened with him in the past. And I was like, because last week you made a thing about Shepherd Book and whether he worked for Niska. Because I've been thinking about that actually. I'm still not sure if he worked for Niska, but if he did, it would make some sense because Niska is such a bad guy that maybe whatever he was doing was so fucking bad that he went and turned to God and was like,
He became
I'm
a
going to
preacher.
go in the exact opposite direction because this was horrible shit. But there is a whole thing with the Alliance where they were like, oh yeah, send him back in when he got hurt. Maybe Niska has some kind of, because you know how governments are and with people and shit going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe there is something with Niska and the Alliance and then Shepherd Book with Niska and the Alliance.
Right.
I don't know. But when they pointed him out a lot in the previews, I was like, I wonder if they're going to go with something.
Yeah. But every time they do that, it foreshadows like what they're mainly going to be focusing on in that episode.
Because they also focused on Jane and the whole Ariel situation.
Yeah.
Right.
So you knew something was going to come with that as well.
Yeah.
Well, so fun fact that I didn't write down,
Is it
but
fun?
I remember it.
Is it fun? Really?
It's not fun.
Okay.
It's a trivia thing. It's not fun at all,
Unfun
actually.
fact.
Yeah,
Right.
totally just real fact that has no emotion at all to it. This was one of 3 episodes that didn't air with Fox.
Oh, because he was naked.
I don't know about that.
What do you mean?
There were 3 episodes that didn't air with Fox.
It didn't air when it first ran?
Yeah, and it's like it was a done episode, but it didn't air.
Did it say why?
No.
Well, what? That's weird. So people didn't get to see it until they saw it on streaming.
Streaming or the box set or whatever.
That's weird. I wonder what the other 2 are. What the other 2?
I didn't look at that. I didn't look into
That would have made it fun.
No wonder it's an unfun fact.
It's not fun at all. So he's naked and all that, blah, blah. So the first thing I said, and I had to say it out loud because we don't talk during the episode, but I was like, what is that tattoo?
Yes.
What
Yeah.
an interesting spot
It
for
took
it.
me forever. I was like, does he have a tattoo there or does he just have something there?
I know. I thought maybe it was a plant that was just like in the way of
I thought
the
maybe
shot
he
or
still
something.
had like a holster or something, like something was hanging off of there. I was like, what is that?
So it is a real tattoo. It is, yes. Well, yes.
It was just drawn on for the show.
No, it's his tattoo. It is an Egyptian hieroglyph.
Hieroglyph.
Yeah. It means peace,
Oh, okay.
apparently. And it is in the notes. Fact or not fact, didn't check it, that he still regrets it.
Why? You can't see it unless he's naked.
I don't know. I thought it was funny.
Although I get it, but yeah.
Well, I was about to talk shit, and I was like, stupid place for a tattoo. But I have a tattoo, like, right there as well.
Yeah.
So.
Is it his only tattoo?
I didn't look into that either.
Oh, okay.
Only one that I've seen.
Yeah, he was pretty naked.
Yeah.
All the
So,
way.
yeah.
So, but it's his real tattoo. So
I've got one of those as well. Just one tattoo that I regret having.
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
on that.
For different reasons, probably.
But it means peace, and I don't know about that. Yeah, that's an interesting choice, but that's what it is.
Okay.
So, opening scene kind of foreshadowing of what's going to happen. Well, so anyway, it does a flashback to 72 hours ago. Right? Mal is meeting with an old war body. His name is Monty, and it's a cargo exchange of some sort. But you can tell they're like really close and like buddy or whatever. He says there's something different about you. Can't really tell, and then it comes out it's his beard, which I was like,
Or lack thereof.
right, correct, yeah. And I was like, well, that's good for you, Mal, being real observant. But it turns out his new wife wanted him to shave it, and he's like, oh, you got married? I can't believe it, or whatever. And he's like, let me introduce you. And so he's like, Bridget, calls Bridget. Bridget comes over. Turns out it's who we know as Saffron from Our Mrs. Reynolds. And they immediately both point guns at each other. I was like, oh, that's very cordial. And then they literally start to fight. So I thought it was funny watching it because it's not like just like a push and shove, like they're beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Right.
And the dude who's his husband now is just like, guys, cut it out.
Guys, Mal, come on.
Dude, he's beating the shit
What's
out of your
going
wife
on?
right
Yeah.
now. So, yeah, they're like going at it back and forth. Monty breaks it up, and Saffron curses Malcolm Reynolds. And
Right.
it kind of makes Monty go, didn't get around to telling you his name.
Right. Yeah. Because at first she was acting like she didn't even know who it was, which doesn't make any sense because you
Right.
immediately pull the gun and the guy's like, oh, you've met.
Right.
And then she's acting like, oh, because Mal's trying to explain, hey, this one's my wife too because she's
a crazy
da-da-da-da.
bitch.
Yeah, she's a crazy bitch and she's scamming everybody. And then she says his name and he's like, wait, I didn't say his name.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess it unfolds where Mal, like, proves his story or whatever. But Monty basically, like, dumps her on the moon.
Right.
He's like, you broke my heart. And throws
Very-
his bag out of the ship and everything.
Mhm.
Very decisive, man. Like,
Yeah,
right then
100%,
there, boom.
right? And he's like, I shaved my beard for you.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and I was like, I get it. Saffron then has that interaction with Mal, basically doing her same shit,
Right.
trying to pull her fucking and bat her eyes kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of entice him with a job that she has. And Mal is obviously like, I'm not playing those games, I'm not doing it, but they get to talking about it. He's very reluctant, and he basically tells her just keep walking that way.
Right.
Like, don't turn around, don't look back, whatever. And it cuts and ends that scene.
Right.
With the assumption of she's going
Gone.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Next part is Mal is on the Serenity. Honora invites him to her room to talk business with T. And he can immediately be like, what do you want? He's like, I've had enough of this shit for the day. And without going into it, he's like, I've already interacted with one of y'all.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
And he's like, just tell me what you want.
Right.
But shoot me straight or whatever. And she's basically like, she isn't getting any jobs because they're not going to any decent planets. They have this back and forth. Obviously, he goes into calling her a whore at some point, and she's like, oh, well, that took a long time. And it's funny because it's always that, but then I guess she called him something like a petty thief.
Yeah, which really
And it hurt his feelings.
offended him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're almost like, well, dude, like,
He just wants to be a thief, but not a petty
not a
thief.
petty. I guess it was demeaning.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
something.
Funny
So-
thing about this scene, in the previews, it had this part where they're at the dinner table right before the big ball of fire, and Mal looks at Anara and says, oh, so there is kissing. Remember that scene?
Yeah.
And you thought there was more to it than that?
Mhm.
When he first walked in there, I thought she had this whole thing laid out for him,
Yeah, the
and
tea
all this
and everything.
stuff, and she's like, I don't fuck you, or I don't have sex
Yeah,
with
like
you,
right
or
off the
whatever,
bat.
right off the bat. And I was like, okay, this is not going where I thought this was going to go
Mhm.
because of the preview or something, but it was weird. But yeah, I thought that it was going to get a little more into
Yeah.
that kind of thing, but it did not.
But there's
Well, maybe-
still so much like tension between
Oh
them.
yeah,
Because after I think it's interesting because Anara will stand up to him every so often and say the whole thing about like, because of course he'll call her a whore and then she'll immediately snap back. But then when he gets upset, you can see in her face she's like, "Ooh, I didn't mean to actually call you that," almost kind of thing.
Yeah, she.
And then they get close, and then it's all like,
It's all hot and bothered.
yeah,
Yeah,
So, yeah. This episode had a few moments of that. I felt
Yeah.
like.
hmm
But it's funny because she eventually was like, well, I might as well just, do your jobs with you because I can't do
that
my
was
job.
an important reference
Yeah.
Right.
in the show. I didn't catch it until
obviously later.
Yeah, but she was like, I can't do my job because you won't go anywhere but these obscure, off the wall, far out, away from the Alliance planets. So I might as well just do your job.
Yeah.
So they have their little having at it, and they're obviously in disagreement. And so it cuts to the scene. He goes to the cargo bay, opens up a bin, and it's Saffron.
Right.
And everybody's like, God damn it, Mal. Mal and Saffron, they meet in it's at the common area, the kitchen, wherever they eat or whatever, right? They're having the meeting to just go over like Saffron's idea of whatever this
the mission,
is. Right. So she's somehow gotten all these layouts, all these codes, all these everythings for this rich dude. His name is Duran.
I think so.
I guess. Duran Hamer. He's on like a private sky island.
It was called something Estates, right?
I refer to it as an estate just because it's...
I can't remember because I was on
yeah. And your note taker didn't take good enough notes. It's the Sky Island.
The Sky Island.
Apparently he's a collector of like vintage stuff, more or less.
Right.
Like of old Earth and stuff or whatever. One thing he has in his collection is a big deal. It's the first laser gun ever invented. Which I think is funny thinking about the guns and the inconsistencies with the sounds and stuff.
Right.
But apparently there's a laser gun that was like the first one.
Yeah.
And there's only 2 left.
Two
That
left,
people
correct.
are known.
Yep.
Did anyone think that this planet was all just water? And they just had, everybody just lived in those little things up in the air?
So I have my own
That's what it
opinion
looks
on
like.
that. Well, I can go ahead and cut to it. It's that's my Star Wars. It's Cloud City. Yeah,
Okay.
and it looks dead ass the same. Besides the little trash container at the bottom, which is fucking dumb because that's not how it would work. But whatever. Yeah, apparently they're all just floating cities or estates on top of this barren landscape, which is apparently a desert, I guess.
Well, an ocean can be a desert.
An ocean can be a desert.
Yes, an ocean can be a desert.
How do you mean? Because I was under the impression that deserts didn't have water.
Well, deserts that you normally think of as being deserts are just sand and no water. Yeah, there's that, but an ocean can be a desert as well. I mean, anything that... I'm trying to think of how to explain it. I'll have to look it up exactly why.
You're talking about just a barren landscape.
Yeah, like there's no...
Okay.
Yeah.
Like deserted. Deserted.
Like after dinner. Id.
I got deserted. Oh, so we left you somewhere? No, I had a whole bunch of cake. I don't know.
Okay, so, yeah, in the sense of definition as there's not much to go off of in this landscape. Or
right, it looked like it was an entire planet of just ocean.
Yeah, it looked like
they were
just
over
water
the water
with-
at that point, but
yeah.
the Lassiter.
Yeah, they're talking about the fact that that's what they're going to get.
Right.
Which, my other fun fact, I'm going to get it wrong, the director dude or the story maker or whatever of this show, he also wrote the first Toy Story. And the director of Toy Story, his last name was Lassiter.
Oh, yeah.
Sure enough.
John Lasseter, I think his name.
Yep.
Joss Whedon wrote Toy Story?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's like the main dude in this show. Either the screenwriter or the director or the...
Producer.
Yeah. There's someone very involved in the show that wrote Toy Story.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is funny. I would have made better notes, but I didn't think it'd be brought up, but I decided to bring it up. But they don't think it has anything to do with why they called the gun the Lassiter. It's just a fun fact. Saffron explains about the heist and everything. The crew is very reluctant.
Okay, yeah.
I think she makes a comment like, I'm sure you all have the question of this. And Wash is like, no, how about like, why are you on our ship?
Yeah, like why the fuck are you here again?
So they go back and forth. And then Jane made me laugh because he was
Yeah.
like, well, I have a question. And it's the same question that she
That
said.
she
Yeah.
said, yeah. And what was the remark she said back to him?
She's like, good point.
Yeah, like receptive or something.
Good
yeah.
job.
Yeah, that was, good job. So that's pretty funny. But they're all very reluctant. Honora makes her scene of, don't trust her, she ain't worth a shit. Whatever.
Right.
Zoe, a little bit more like put together.
Kind of says the same thing.
Like professional, like I don't trust her, but the take sounds really nice and
But
everything.
you can tell Zoe's pissed. Like, she
Oh,
was
yeah.
pissed.
Well, the way she was looking throughout the whole scene, I was just waiting for her to say something, too.
Oh, yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
And-
all right, say something, Zoe,
I mean,
because
she
I
did
know...
knock out her husband, so she's
Yeah.
probably very pissed at her about all that shit.
Right, that's true. I forgot about that.
So they're back and forth, but Zoe just knocks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the
clean
thing.
out.
Because
Yeah.
she made a comment to Zoe, and as soon as she made the comment in my head, I was like, Zoe, punch her.
Right.
She just fucking knocked her out.
Blocked her.
And I'm like, that's hilarious. Because in my head, immediately, as soon as she said it, in the tone she said it in,
Right.
I could feel being Zoe in that moment
Yeah.
and just wanting to knock her the fuck out. And then she did, and it was great.
James was like, pause it. I was like, what? And she's like, can't talk about it. But I was hoping she'd knock her out.
Yeah, no, I literally was like, I knew she was going to punch her. It was great.
So yeah, half the crew is pretty much all vocalizing not with it.
I think Jane's the only one that really didn't have.
Well, Jane doesn't have any brain cells. in
Yeah,
his head.
Jane's a dummy. He asked the
Right.
question
He's just
that
like,
was
"Ooh,
prompted.
Jane's always
Money?
just like any way to make money, I think.
Yeah.
It
Right.
doesn't matter. I don't care who it is.
So they go through all that. Cut to the next scene. Jane is telling Simon and River that they're gonna have to sit low and hide out for the mission or whatever.
This I didn't understand.
Really?
I think this...
I got this one.
Because they were like, because if Saffron knows that who you are and that you're wanted by the Alliance, then she's gonna turn you in. But they've met her
She's-
before, didn't they? Because remember in the one where Armistice Reynolds, they met her before. Because I was asking, why didn't River feel that Saffron was a
Oh,
bad
yeah.
person?
Yeah.
So I was confused by this. I didn't understand it. Why they had to hide out?
Maybe because of
Yeah,
where they were
maybe
going.
so.
No, they
Well,
were,
no one
they were
else
hiding.
went really.
They were
so-
hiding them. They were hiding them from Saffron because they know she's a devious, double-crossing bitch, and that if she knows who they are and figures out, oh, they're wanted by the Alliance, she'll turn them in.
Yeah.
She don't care. She don't care. She doesn't care.
She don't care. You sound like Jane.
She don't care.
She don't care. So I thought that was.
Yeah, I guess that's
confusing.
inconsistent if you think about it.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
is.
even
That
think
is
about
weird.
that part.
Yeah. So anyway, so they
Yeah.
had to hide them. I guess maybe they were both getting married or something in real life.
So for
'Cause they were-
whatever reason, they're like, y'all are staying out of it.
Right.
And Simon's bitching. He's like, oh, good, another adventure hiding out.
But isn't this the scene though where she's like,
This is the scene that River says something about Jane, and she knows that there's something.
Yes, so I still don't like River. She gets on my nerves. But I can understand her speaking now. It's getting more conducive, and it's bearable. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, I understand what you're actually trying to communicate at this point.
Yeah.
right?
Thank God.
Yeah. They
Instead of
fixed
the fish eyes and not making any sense. So yeah, they did. So it was kind of like a back and forth between Jane and her.
Of her and Simon.
Because originally,
Yeah,
well, 'cause
because Jane
originally-
leaves, and then
Jane, yeah.
That's after. I'm talking about before when she was saying like Jane's a girl's name.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
which
yeah,
was
yeah,
funny.
that was-
I love that she said that.
He's like,
And he was
oh.
like, well, Jane's not a girl.
So it's like Dumb and Dumber
Yeah.
going back and forth. But yeah, afterwards it's Simon and River, and she says afraid. He's like, no, there's nothing to be afraid of. Don't worry about it. She's like, I'm not afraid. Jane's afraid. But that we'll find out what you did.
Yeah.
And I guess behind the scenes, she
You can see Simon, a light bulb kind of
Yeah,
a little bit,
kinda
yeah.
goes off,
That
yeah.
moment, he's like, oh.
sure she puts it together that, or he puts it together that they basically.
He's the reason why they got. almost
He's
got
the reason,
fucked last time.
Right.
why they almost got caught by the Alliance. Yeah.
During all this, Wash and Kaylee are going with Mal and Saffron about how they're going to steal this gun. Because apparently it's like coded with the security that the alarm will go off whenever it leaves the island or
Through any
Right.
door or anything like that.
Yeah,
Right.
once it leaves the perimeter of something, it'll cause alarm to go
yeah.
off.
Right. And Kaylee's like, why don't you tell him Wash? And Wash is like, no, it's your idea. You tell him. She's like, you throw it in the garbage. I found this hard to like, because anyone listening to this would have no idea. This little like island thing that they're on, it's Cloud City, I swear. Just on an estate. So it's like a big old sphere, right? And then at the bottom, they have their trash dump,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess is the way they wanted to design it. It's like a freight container, right?
Right.
And so whenever like a drone comes and picks up a fucking shipping container of trash off this little bitty space and takes it and another one comes through, which I think is way too much trash for someone to be doing.
I didn't feel like it was that big. Do you think it was that big?
Well, I
There's
thought
a
it.
shipping container.
So I thought it was big, but I do feel like it's weird that it takes it every time somebody throws something away.
Right, it seems a little
That's
much.
a little much considering how big the container
Like, wait
is.
till
Don't
it's
want to get
full.
stinky.
Wait till it's full. Yeah, I don't know, but
Well, I think that you also have to press a button because you
yeah,
put it in there and then you press
the
the button to call it to come pick it up. So maybe they just did it the one because they wanted it gone
they
right then
knew.
and there.
Yeah,
Maybe so.
Yeah.
But Kaylee has the suggestion of throwing the gun in the garbage, and then the drone will come pick it up, and then they can
that way it will come
reprogram.
out. It will come out without the security going off.
Right? Yeah. Apparently, security's not there, which
I guess eventually it would leave if it's leaving the perimeter at some point. It will
I
start
guess
going off.
not. No, apparently not.
Oh,
Yeah, they made it seem like that's not. That's
but by
why
that
they
time
did
they'd be
that.
gone anyway.
Yeah.
So
Loophole. And then they were going to reprogram the drone to take the trash to the desert,
right.
not the water desert, the
But-
desert.
Yeah, because normally it takes it somewhere else.
And like incinerates it like immediately. Or
Right.
whatever,
Yeah.
which is what they were worried about.
Yeah, so Kaylee had to program some kind of little chipboard, whatever thing,
Yeah.
to put into the thing to change
Right.
it.
Which I thought, and I'll get to that part because I thought that was weird, but whatever. I'm not the designer. But anyway, that's their plan. And then Anara, she has a brief interaction with Mal. Like, as soon as I hit Atmo, I'm gone.
Yeah, she's pissed.
Still frustrated and everything. He's like, that's fine, do whatever you want. Next scene, Zoe and Anara are talking about Saffron. And like, I don't trust her, I don't either. Just yeah. And Saffron is like behind the other door looking.
Listen,
She overhears it. And I think Mal comes around and is like, I told you not to wander. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Mal and Saffron land on the estate, the Cloud City house, disguised as workers for a party being thrown.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like flower delivery people or something.
Yeah, big old bouquets of flowers and everything, whatever. I wrote they sleuthed through the home, but I would never say that. I wouldn't. So they're sneaking through the house and everything, and like she has all the codes and everything. She's got this weird like circle dial thing that she can reprogram the doors.
Right.
Do y'all remember the movie? Not Galaxy Quest. Catch That Kid.
I know, I remember the name, but I don't know if I've ever watched it.
God, that's a great movie. It was fun because they like robbed a bank, but it's like these kids that catch that
kids
kid.
are doing it, yeah.
And they like run away on go-karts and they have all this technology. And I swear there's something in that movie that was very similar to this little spinny thing she put on the door. We should watch it one day. Just say.
Add it to the list.
Yeah.
It's a very good movie. They sleuth around the house. But Mal starts working on disarming the weapon.
Right.
So here's where I got confused.
Yeah, I don't know why you were confused, but go ahead.
There's a lot of back and forth and I don't understand what was going on. So Duran comes in and catches him, like during trying to steal the gun. But instead of being like, I'm calling cops or what are you doing? He's like, Yolanda.
Right.
Which Yolanda is Saffron.
Right.
And he's like, and he looks at Mal, he's like, thank you for bringing her back to me.
Yeah.
I was like, you are making a lot of assumptions off of nothing.
I thought he was making a lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
Like, why is he assuming they're in a room full of all of your most precious, valuable things, and standing right next to this gun, and you think that this is where he's going to bring her back to you?
Yeah.
Is in this room?
Right.
That's like, okay, dude.
Yeah.
So I guess they have Saffron and Duran have an interaction of something about how she's been gone for 6 years.
Yeah.
And I reckon she had an affair with another dude.
Yes.
That's died.
Yeah. So they were married. She marries everybody.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was the comment. Like you and everybody else.
So they were married. Everything was fine and wonderful. I got this feeling this guy worked there.
Yeah, he
on
worked
the
there.
estate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he said, when you both disappeared at the same time, I thought the two of you ran off together.
Mm-hmm.
And then we found him dead somewhere. And she was like, oh, wow. She's like, no, like she acted like almost like they got kidnapped maybe. And the kidnappers must have killed him and she was able to get away and blah, blah, blah. And he's believing all this shit. And,
sold her to slavery or some kind of...
Yeah, so she's making up all this stuff as to why she was gone for so long and why she left with whoever he was. It wasn't that they were together. It's just
It's because they got kidnapped together.
Yeah. So he's like, "Oh my god, and of course he thanks Mal for bringing her back, and Mal's like,
But he like right off the rip assumed he's like, "Thank you."
right. It
It's
was
like, what?
Yeah. So then he had to go and do something.
He went to go get money for Mal.
Yeah, it's
for,
because he's like,
he was like, "What do you want as payment? Like, let me give
nothing.
you money." Like, all
she's
this.
like, "No, I promised him 800 pounds." Which
Yeah.
I guess
or 800
they're
whatever.
still in euros over there.
No, they didn't call it pounds.
No, I think
they
this
called it
called
something else.
Did I call it pounds?
No, I think it was something
It's
else.
whatever their money is there. It's not
Chocolate
pounds.
bars.
800 ain't enough. Whatever it is. After 6 years, whatever.
And
Yeah,
the
so
fact that he's just going to give this money to this guy that he doesn't even know, who he didn't even hire to go find her.
Right.
Yeah.
That's in his most valuable room with the gun. That's
interaction
very
just
rare.
confused the shit out of me. I was like, I have no idea what's going on right
I don't think it's confusing. I think she was bullshitting with him because she was like, "Oh yeah, hee hee hee, ha ha.
now. Well, I guess it was the
Let me try and trick you."
double
more."
triple cross.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, that's when I was like, I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, he said that, and I was like, "I don't understand what you don't get."
It's too many.
Yeah. There was a lot of stuff going on. I guess
Yeah.
I suppose. Then he left to go get the money, and then...
Right, yeah. So he goes to get the money, and she's like, we don't have much time. Like, immediately, like, switches face.
We need to move fast. Yeah.
Right. Mal gets the laster, like, out of the security or whatever, and Duran comes back, and is like...
Well, she's pointing a gun at him.
And more confusion, because, like, she loves this dude, and he's, like, making comments. He's like, oh, it's your first husband, or whatever.
No, she's pointing a gun at Mal.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute.
Because as he was...
No,
as he was getting the gun out, you see her in the background backing up, and she pulls the gun, so as soon as he gets the gun and turns around, she has a gun at him, and then that's when Duran walks back in.
Okay.
And he's like, oh yeah. And that's when he, like, pretty much calls the bluff of, like, everything, really, more or less.
Right.
That he already knew.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. But again,
I'm like, I'm so confused.
Think about it. Mal knows how she works.
Yeah.
He probably very much knows how she works as well. So he was bluffing with her, who was also bluffing with him.
And Mal's bluffing
and Mal is bluffing with all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all just...
single, double, triple bluff.
And you're wondering why I'm confused?
It's not confusing if you just know, like, the characters.
Everyone's fucking with each other.
Yeah, so basically when Duran came in, he probably knew, oh, this woman fucked me over.
Oh, yeah.
But he didn't want to be in a situation, he probably knows how she is. He doesn't know Mal.
Yeah, it's 2 versus 1.
Who's got a gun and who's going to do what. So he's playing the whole, oh my god, I missed you card.
Let me go
just to keep them thinking I'm all chill, everything's good.
Yeah.
He leaves to go get money, but really he's calling the Alliance, right?
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, because the Alliance card was on his ring, why couldn't he just...
I think he was just playing the game, to play the game.
To play the game of following through with the story.
When Mal got all the stuff changed out so he could take the laser gun off the thing, as soon as he does, because her plan wasn't to let them have it and they share in the wealth. She wanted to take the gun and skedaddle.
Right.
So she's got the gun on Mal, and then Duran comes in and he's like, I've already called authorities.
Yeah.
With my little
Which
ring.
I think it's funny that this happens and he's still super, like, nonchalant. Because Mal still just takes the gun and throws it in the trash. Like, he's not worried about the gun at all.
Yeah. He's
like, at all. He's not. Yeah.
That's why I thought she had the gun pointed at Duran. Because Mal is backing up the whole time. It's like...
Mal's like this with the gun standing right beside him, talking to him, too. Being like, yeah, she's a crazy bitch, I get it.
Yeah.
And he's literally... He's not even holding it, like...
Yeah.
He's like...
hitting it. But he realizes once Saffron, Yolanda, and Duran get into their discussion... He's like, well, I'm going to go ahead and just throw this shit in the trash. Like, nobody's paying attention to my ass.
Yeah.
They're having a little lover's quarrel over here.
Yeah.
So
but I still just think it's funny that it's like, this gun's such a big deal, and the dude doesn't even try to stop Mal from
that was funny too.
doing anything with it.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
They're like, this priceless artifact.
Yeah. And he's just like, whatever.
But he's rich. He lives on fucking Cloud City. He don't give a fuck.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
Observation. I thought it was funny they had a phone booth in
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the first
the
thing that was in
collection
there.
of old
stuff.
I didn't see anything else other than the laser gun and a
In the
phone
phone
booth.
booth. Yeah.
I would like to
Wish I
go back and watch and see what other artifacts are in there.
I should have paid more attention because I thought, and the phone booth stood out to me.
Because those are the only two things that I noticed as well.
Mal throws the gun in the garbage. Duran is too focused on Saffron to care. After the exchange, Saffron knocks him out, which confuses me even more because I don't know which side she's on anymore. I have no idea.
She is just
She's on
always
her side.
trying to benefit herself.
I know,
But she has to play whatever she needs to play in order to get to that point. She's going to keep playing whatever role it is in order for her to get to her end goal.
But we'll find out. It comes up later why this happened this way.
Well,
For
maybe.
her, on her side.
Yeah.
Right.
Her end of it, possibly, yeah.
And then they manage to get through the whole house, and the Alliance shows up, obviously, because of the pinky ring. They're all trying to get them. They're knocking people out left and right. They got the little, there's another movie. It's not Galaxy Quest. I think it has Tom Cruise in it. It's a great movie. Minority Report.
Oh, we discussed this one too.
Really?
Have we?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I don't remember this one.
Maybe 3 or 4 episodes ago.
Was it the same thing with the gun?
Yeah.
Oh, god damn it.
The air gun.
Yeah, the air gun and that's the same background. Yeah.
Why am I like that? Well, since we've already discussed it, that's how I feel about the air
I'll just take that part from that episode.
Oh my gosh. We could make a whole podcast on my fucking forgetting shit.
Because it's the air. Because there was one where I was like, I don't understand
Like,
these guns.
people
And you're like,
would-
oh, it's just like
It kind of just like knocks them out. Yeah.
Yeah, sound waves, and I'm sure I said the exact same thing. So I'm not even going to repeat myself anymore.
right. But then they get to the point though when they get to the door and Mal's trying to hold the door, and that's when she uses that thing.
To like pretty
The
much
catch me
lock
if you
down
can,
the
or
whole
the
system.
catch that kid thing.
Yeah.
She puts that thing on there and does whatever.
Locks him in.
Also, I guess we should point out the reason why she knew the whole schematics and
Oh
all
yeah,
the
it's because they were
codes
married.
is because they were married.
Yeah.
That's why she knew everything.
Right.
Which again, married to everybody.
Yeah.
Right. But
That's
yeah,
what I'm
I realized that, of course, once it got to that part. It's like, oh, because of course, when they were all sitting together making the plan, they were like, how do you know all this information?
Right.
And
Don't worry
So they
about
got a
it,
good
sweetheart.
sword.
yeah, but it's because she obviously lived there for who knows how
Yeah.
long. Yeah.
Correct. So they fight all the guards and they get away on their Mal's little spaceship. During this whole time, it's been like cutting back and forth.
Right.
But Jane and Kaylee, they're trying to program this trash
the
drone.
trash drone thing.
Right.
Which the trash drone, it's 2 parts. One is a literal shipping container of trash. The other one is a little drone with forks, like in episode 1, The Phantom Menace, where like where the front is further and it's just a little back pod, and it comes in. This is where it differs, but scoops it and takes it away. So what I was concerned about is Kaylee and Jane are trying to program the trash can, more or
Right.
less, not the drone.
Right.
Which I was like, that does not make sense.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. I was like, why are they fixing? What is this?
Yeah, that's the box.
Yeah, unless, well, no. So as I say, obviously the drone needs to know what house to come to,
Right.
or whatever floaty thing. But from that point, you think the drone itself would
Knows where
be
to go.
where it needs to go. Like, why would reprogramming? But I guess they'd have to be doing some quick maneuvering to do it when the drone got there.
Right.
So they just did it for whatever they had to do, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not a scientist.
You're not
Just
a
like I'm not a doctor.
You're not
Not
a
a doctor, not a
scientist.
scientist, and I don't remember shit. But that's not the way I would have done that.
Well, I mean, they had to have done something.
Yeah,
but-
they had to do something somehow.
I just
Hopefully
would've done it
hoping that we wouldn't figure that out.
Too late, because I did. And that was poor judgment on the director's part. They are working on it or whatever. Apparently he pulls out a whole
Board. It's like a circuit board. Or
yeah,
something.
right,
Yeah.
with all the shit, and gives it to Kaylee to reprogram and do all that
Well, no,
stuff.
she had another one that was right.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she just
Oh, I
like
thought
plugged
she
it into
was-
something.
Yeah, they
Did
just
whatever.
Oh,
Switched back
Yeah.
and forth.
got it. And the whole time, so the trash chute is right there, and Wash is piloting the Serenity, right below.
Right.
And it's obviously like he's having a hard time because it's like warning, warning. And
Oh yeah,
Trying to stay steady.
he's trying to stay steady, but
I
close
thought he
enough
was like
to
an
not.
awesome pilot.
But he's trying to stay this close to something and not run into it.
And, not be all jerky. So
Yeah, he's trying to stay steady and you do
impressed.
it.
Give me the wheel.
Are you a pilot, Mr. Doctor
Give
Scientist?
me the wheel. If we're going slow and steady, I got it. Don't worry about it. Anyway, I'll talk shit about it because I wasn't impressed. He's the best pilot of what I can't even keep it steady for a second.
Okay.
Anyway, he's maneuvering and Kaylee and Jane are switching this, which should be a
Right.
done.
And Kaylee's like, you need to move it up. You need to, because
Right.
even Jane, as tall as he is, was not quite able to get it back in. And
Correct.
then,
And yeah, and washes. And I think Jane he's like, hold it steady, like keep it still.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Which I agree with him. Do your job. Relax.
Mhm.
But apparently Kaylee's just like, hey, be careful, that's live. And as soon as she says that, it shocks the shit out of Jane.
Yeah.
Just knocks him out cold. So it's left to Kaylee to finish inserting the circuit board.
right. But Zoe comes out, right?
She
Yeah.
does.
So Jane goes
I lost
down.
that time.
Yeah, Jane goes down, and Zoe's like, "You need to take care of him," talking to Simon, and then Zoe goes up there to assist with Kaylee.
Right.
I think that was like the one scene Shepard was in because he's taking Jane.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he's heavy as shit. Or
Yeah,
whatever
because I was just
he
thinking
does.
myself, I was like, was Shepard in this episode? I know he had to
But
be.
it was very
They're, like,
short.
very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's still on his honeymoon or whatever.
Yeah.
They're working out, and Zoe's like telling Kaylee, like, Kaylee, hurry up, because the drone is coming, and it literally like just
As it was coming,
Yeah.
they finished.
yeah, as soon as they
right in the nick of
stick
time.
it in there, they fall down, and
Yeah.
so, perfect timing. So then, Mal and Saffron head for the trash drone's location to get the gun. They're having an interaction in the shuttle with each other. Saffron starts crying.
Mhm.
Crocodile tears. Talking about, from what I understood, it was apparently like she actually did like this dude, her first husband, and like respected him as a guy.
She liked the. I think she liked the idea of him because he has money, so I could have been set and like I could have
Wouldn't
just
really want
stayed.
anything.
He was
But then
also a
she-
nice guy, stand-up guy.
Yeah.
She thought that, yeah.
But I think she also really liked the guy she ran away with.
Right.
They
Sure.
didn't get kidnapped. That she ran away with him.
Right. And Mal
Yeah.
basically accused her of having feelings for that guy, Duran. And that's why she didn't try to kill him or anything like that, because she still cared about him. And that's why she says something about like why she kept up the game, basically, because she still cares about him. Like
Mhm.
he's the only one that she actually cared about. I think he was her first
Oh, like the
her first
Something
husband.
like that.
first victim.
And then, like, she must really be on hard times to do this job because she's known about it for 6 years.
Mhm.
Or that's why she had, that's the reason why she hadn't done it. She had all this knowledge and she hadn't done it before now because she cared about him, but now she must be struggling or
Mhm.
desperate. That's why she's doing it.
Right. She's getting all emotional. She gets all crying or whatever. And then she steals Mal's gun,
Right.
which shocking.
Yeah, how did we not feel that or know what it
Right.
said?
Just didn't see that. So I was like watching, and I'm not obviously like the movie part, right? But like the gun is on his right hip,
Mhm.
and she sits on his right side.
Mhm.
Right.
And then when she pulls the gun, it's in her right hand. And so I was like,
And
that's
she go like
impressive,
this,
honestly.
back.
Yeah, like fucking.
And then, well, she could have taken it with her left hand and slid it, and then
Maybe so.
maybe. But
Whatever
yeah.
it was slick. I'll give it to her.
Yeah.
Like,
But she completely changes also her attitude.
Right.
She's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
oh,
she's
I
like,
did it to you again. I can
Yeah.
fix you out again. I got you,
right. And so then she gets him to strip naked.
Right.
Because there's talk about her being naked, and it's all like that.
Uh-huh.
And basically, I mean, yeah. So she dumps him in the desert naked and leaves him. And he looks pissed. But
Right.
It's all part of the plan.
He looks pissed. We'll leave it at that.
But he looks pissed.
Okay.
And it's not all part of the plan.
And this is also where he says what he said in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes back
cut
around.
to-
where
Yeah.
He's like, this is.
To the same.
Yeah, that went well.
Yeah, that well.
Which, looking at it the second time, I was like,
Oh,
I
that
get
went
it.
well. Yeah.
Bing. Saffron is going through the trash and can't find the gun. Honora comes up.
In her get up, which I love.
Yeah,
I love this get
that
up.
Very
whole
like,
scene.
yeah.
That was
Very
kind of-
like spy.
Yeah, wasn't that also the kind of thing she was wearing the first time she met Mal? She
Yeah,
had that whole
kinda,
thing
sorta.
over her face that she was
Well,
covering.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a very cool outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like a
She's
genie.
like,
Yeah,
oh.
she looked like a genie.
And she has the lasso. She's like, I wonder if it still works. She's like, pew. Nope. This does. Pulls out another one. And she's like, she basically gets to be like, this is the plan the whole time. Like,
Right.
everybody was on you since before we opened the damn box.
Right.
And I think she alluded, I do use that word in real life.
Yeah.
Dang. I think she hinted at that, like, everybody else was bad actors, but they got through it or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But they knew the whole time.
She was like, we were worried, but we made it through kind of thing.
Right.
So obviously, when she said that, I was like, oh, okay. Because I was not expecting that to happen. I didn't see that coming.
No.
Me neither.
So between the time that Mal got back on with the cargo and they were doing whatever, and he
While she
opened
was still in the
up, while
box.
she was in the box,
They
must
had a
have been
whole,
like, look, Saffron's on the fucking ship.
Right.
This is what we're
got
gonna
a job.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and so they all, and so everything that went on, Zoe acting pissed,
Yeah.
Anara acting pissed, Zoe and Anara having their little discussion, knowing she was probably listening in.
Yeah.
All of it was just a big act.
Yeah.
To
Which another funny part of that is like thinking about Jane's part in that one episode about like rehearsing his line over and over.
Right.
So like the fact that he was in the kitchen or whatever and just asked what she asked.
Yeah, just said the
was
same
like
thing.
his speaking role.
I wonder if they even let him in on it because he's so
I
dumb.
wonder.
Oh,
Yeah,
they probably didn't.
Maybe.
They may not have let him in on it. He was just going with the flow, like,
Yeah.
okay, this is what we're doing.
He's
Probably
somebody
would've
that probably
worked
didn't need
better.
to know
Yeah, he
any
probably
different.
wouldn't
Because
need
he's
to
like,
know.
cool, we're doing a big heist. Sick,
Yeah.
we're about to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's not going to be part of a major part of it to where it fucks shit up so
yeah,
much
that's true.
that they may not have told him.
He probably
Think so.
didn't.
Yeah. Because they knew he would go through with it anyway because it's money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't matter.
Right. So it comes out that they've known all along. It's all part of her plan. And I think Inara actually like genuinely does not like this lady.
Oh, yeah. She can't stand
no,
her.
she can't fucking stand
She's
her.
probably, not only because of what she did to Mal, she's probably pissed, number one, because
Right.
of what she did to Mal, that she almost killed him. And she loves Mal, so she's pissed about that, just like Zoe would be pissed about the whole thing with Wash.
Mm-hmm.
But she also probably feels like, you're a companion.
Yeah, she gives the companion a bad
Yeah.
name.
No.
Yeah, bad rep.
And so, fuck you, because you're not, doing...
You're not doing it right.
Right. So she basically is like,
She's disrespecting the job. Yeah.
and then she goes, pretty much get fucked, and starts like
Right.
closing the door on her
Which is funny.
in the trash lid. And I did think that was funny. And she's like, she's like, you're not gonna die. The cops are gonna be here in a little while to arrest you. She said, like, I have a condition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like, you can't do this, I have a condition. Like, shut the fuck up.
I know, I was like,
Yeah.
what? Please.
Yeah.
Like, Inara's gonna give a shit about your condition.
Right, which is, she probably doesn't have anything. It's just
No.
her trying to still be
Yeah.
a
And at this
snake.
point, you could probably fake out a few people still in the crew, but you're not gonna fake
No.
out fucking Inara.
No.
She knows your wily ways.
Yeah.
And another part, I got confused. I think that was before this scene or after. I couldn't really remember. But like, Serenity was sabotaged, so they couldn't like do the whole meetup on time because
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Zossi did actually
She did
like
something to the engine that
mess
made
with
it.
it. You couldn't turn it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I guess that was before, and it kind of led to the suspense of it all. But
Right.
it was all just like, yeah, whatever. Jane wakes up in the infirmary with a neck brace, and I thought that was funny. And Simon's there, right? And he's going, do you feel your arms and legs? And she's like, no. He's like, that's because I gave you something. He basically goes into, I know what you did. And Jane's like, is anybody there? And fucking River. Yeah. And he's like, anybody else? So, and Simon goes into the thing. It's like, it seems like he's about to mess with him, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then he goes,
He's like,
"What?"
just so you know, while you're in here,
Right.
he's pretty much being like, oh, I have all this control over
Yeah.
you
Right.
because I have this medicine to just make it so you can't move your arms and legs, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, but I wouldn't hurt you.
Right. He's like, the odds are you're in your job, you're going to end up on my table. I'll never hurt you. It's
Right.
part of my job as
being part of the
on this
crew.
crew.
And we need to trust each other.
Yeah, he's something like it's better than sleeping with one eye open.
But you still have to. He's not obviously. I get what he's saying, but we're not worried about Simon.
Yeah.
They need to be worried about River.
Right.
You still have to sleep with one eye open.
Mhm.
So they do their thing, and he's like, "You're good." He's like, "I'm gonna take care of you." Just relax. And he like leaves, and then River, she says, "I can kill you with my brain."
Yeah.
And just
Which
like,
was so funny.
And I was like,
He's like,
"Oh my god."
Yeah.
Yeah.
which
so-
goes into her talking in a way that makes sense.
Yeah.
It
Right.
fits with whatever the conversation is.
Yeah.
You can understand it, and that was actually pretty
It was
funny.
funny.
So,
whatever Simon's giving her and doing for her brain is helping.
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Well, maybe that's it. Actually, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that because he's been giving her like medicines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now that he knows what's wrong with her,
Is
he's been
that
trying
why
to.
she's more like understandable?
I think
Yeah.
so. Probably.
Wow.
Glad I gave you that
That
knowledge.
does make sense. Maybe I'll like not hate her by the end of this series. Maybe she can speak in full sentences.
Right.
Yep. And the episode ends.
No,
It does not.
That's not
It doesn't. If that's where
when-
that scene is,
when
then
it-
that is not.
No, they go and get Mal.
Yeah.
That's what the episode ends with.
Oh, so that's what the episode ends with. That's like,
The episode ends with Serenity picking up Mal naked in the desert.
right.
Right. And he's kind of coming on with Mal apparently
Well, it's
doesn't
funny.
give a shit.
Yeah, because
No.
Inara walks up to him.
Yeah. And is like.
And I'm really, I'm watching her. I'm like, is she going to do this?
Yeah. Right.
And they're just talking and,
She does at one point though.
I don't know.
She does look down at one point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I must have missed it. I was trying to watch, see if she did. But they were having their little cute little thing and basically saying, it worked
Like the
out.
plan
and
worked, yeah.
I got to be like you guys.
Yeah.
She got to do what their job is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause she never went to meet any companions.
No.
She's just been waiting for that lady.
Correct.
That
Mhm.
lady, that
Yep.
bitch to show up.
Yeah.
And so she, played their game like she talked about, referenced earlier on.
Yes.
They were fighting. Then he goes onto the ship
Right.
and totally naked, just walking around,
Yeah.
arms
Great
up.
Doesn't
vibes.
give a shit.
Yeah.
Tells Wash to get to it. Tells Kaylee good job, and he does the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
good day.
Yeah, I was just saying Kelly to take a look too. But
Yeah.
you would watch maybe just for comparison's sake, but no. But yeah, nice ass too.
Yeah. And then the gate closes, and then the episode ends.
Right.
That's all I got.
All right. Got anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, so that's it for this week's breakdown of Firefly trash. Proof that even in the future, exes are still the worst. Next time, we're unpacking the message. So brace yourself for body deliveries, old war buddies, and more emotional damage than your average sci-fi hour. And as always, keep listening so we don't become a one-season wonder ourselves. See ya!